Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Objectively Bad podcast. As always, your gloriously thick hosts here, Dan and Shad. We're back for another episode. I don't know what we're talking about today. Chad has prepared for us a topic. I know it's Pokemon related, which I honestly, just thinking back at all our episodes, I honestly think we might have talked about Pokemon more than GTA somehow. There's been a lot of episodes about it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I haven't played a Pokemon game in fucking years.
In my defense, I don't know how much the viewers can see this. You have like 4 Pokemon plushies behind you.
I do, yeah. That is true.
So, also, it's because I'm fucking obsessed with Pokemon right now.
Fair. There's also news, apparently.
There is news, yes. That's what I do have to discuss today.
And you did say we can link it to GTA in the future of this episode. So if you are only here for GTA, you better stay. Otherwise...
Yeah. You gotta watch the whole thing.
I'll also hit you. I didn't slap as hard as I wanted to.
Just keep hitting the mic.
Yeah, I know. It's in an awkward position. I wish I could throw it out the window.
Stop hitting the mic, dude.
It's a bad boy. What can I say?
Oh. All right. Well, Dan, I got I have some GTA news for you, except it's not GTA whatsoever. It's Pokemon. I didn't falter. That was on purpose.
Sure.
So essentially, Pokemon's coming up on their 30th anniversary. I think Pokemon Day is coming out soon. I think when this episode releases, Pokemon Day will be the following day. It's the 27th of February, in case you don't listen to this on the day it comes out.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of speculation for like what's going to come out. I think I've talked about it before, but they're like, oh, Nintendo's got to put out like at least something.
You'd assume so. Yeah, 30th anniversary. Yeah.
It's got to be something. They announced, I think like a week ago, that on the Switch 2, and I think the Switch as well, I think it's just the eShop, they're releasing Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Like the originals or what?
Like the original. So for a little bit of history, there's been 9 generations of Pokemon games. The first games were called Red and Blue, or if you're in Japan, Red and Green. Then there's Gen 2, which had a bunch of games that are unrelated. And then in Gen 3, they had Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And then they put out their first round of remakes, which is Fire Red and Leaf Green. Their remakes typically came with adding in a lot of the new features that the newer games would have. The differences between Gen 1 and Gen 3 can be quite different. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that's added. There's
like color.
More typings.
There wasn't color
like
before.
Literal color.
Yeah.
But stuff like the ability to sprint, the bike got added. Using HMs got a lot easier. You had to go into your individual Pokemon to select surf instead of just walking up to water. It's tiny. It's fucking annoying. I played Yellow recently, and it's really fun, but it's also, there's so much quality of life stuff. It does a lot of improvements. It also adds to the game. It added the Sevi Islands to the first game, but it's a retake on the first game. It's mostly the same. There's some added Pokemon, and there's added Pokemon in the post game. It adds a bunch. Fire Red and Leaf Green were really heavily valued. A lot of people liked it. Gen 3 in general, I think a lot of people tended to like, plus a lot of people that talk about it, if they're like a little bit older than us, they were like of video game playing age when it came out. So Gen 3, for a lot of Pokemon YouTubers who are like 30-ish, tend to really like Generation 3 quite a bit. And it's good. I'm playing Emerald right now. I think it's really fun.
Even though, objectively, Gen 4 is better.
I'm a Gen 5 guy. But again, all nostalgia based. Gen 4 is great until you have a lot of HP and you take a lot of damage, and that HP marker slowly moves down. Because for whatever reason, in that generation alone, it's so long. Genuinely, I think someone recorded it and it's like 30 seconds if you have like a ton of health and took a ton of damage.
But I like the suspense.
It's ridiculous.
It keeps you wondering whether it's going to keep going or not. I like it. It's good fun.
True.
But
Gen 4 is also
Gen 4 is the one I grew up with, and obviously Diamond, Pearl, Platinum classics, and then the remakes of Soul, there's a Silver and Gold, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver.
Yeah,
It's pretty
those are
perfect
also
in my
really heavily
opinion.
regarded. I think most people would probably say the DS era, just in general, is probably the best era of Pokemon.
The DS like 2 era, not DS 3. 3DS is when
not 3DS.
X and Y came out.
Standard DS.
Standard DS.
X and Y and Sun and Moon, which I think people enjoyed, but like Gen 4 and 5 is like the DS era.
Yep.
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, all really good games. Platinum is usually like top of or like pretty high on people's lists. Heart Gold and Soul Silver is also usually really high on people's lists. And then Black and White 2. I've also seen Black and White 2 is like Black and White 2, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then Platinum tends to be like the top 3 of most people's
like the
lists.
DS era.
Black and White usually makes top 5.
The DS era of Pokemon games is like the Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 2 of Call of Duty games. Like MW2, MW3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 is kind of like, that's the peak era of COD. COD 4 you can include as well, but it's a bit more primitive. That would be more like a Gen 3, I feel like.
Yeah. And Gen 3 I think is still really good.
It's still good. It just is a bit more primitive than obviously the upgrade to like Gen 4 with the DS and those games onward. And then ever since, I'd say it got to like we said, Black and White and Black and White 2 was still good, but I think it was like a plateau of like, it's the same sort of level of quality of like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Maybe a bit better for some people, maybe a bit worse. But then with X and Y, I think it slowly has gone down ever since.
The games start to get a lot easier. I say this, and I haven't played a lot of the later gen games, so my opinion isn't necessarily that valid because I just don't have it. From what I know, they get a lot easier. And for kids, I mean, it is a kids game, respectively. For the more hardcore players who have played Pokemon for their entire lives and are in their adulthood, they're like, the easy games aren't as fun because they're easy. I had a coworker, he got X and Y. I think he started playing it like on his Friday. We have shifted schedules. He comes back on his Monday. It's like my end of the week. He's like, so I'm done. And I'm like, what do you mean you're done? He's like, I beat the Elite Four. To be fair, I think he played nonstop that weekend. But like, that's crazy.
But the thing is, you say that, it's a game made for kids. But the thing is, a lot of us were kids when we played the older games, and they were still way more difficult than the newer ones are.
I play them now, and like, Yellow's kind of hard, mainly because only about 10% or slightly less of Pokemon are actually good.
Yeah, I also think one of the big things, and you can debate whether this is difficulty or artificial difficulty, but the introduction of the modern version of the XP share item means that whenever you get a kill with your Pokemon, all the Pokemon level up all the time. And it's like every Pokemon would just always be at the same level, like roughly. Whereas back in the day, you had to individually train the ones you wanted to level up. Took way longer. Meant that you had to like really think more hardly about like which Pokemon you want in your team and you want to level up for any certain gym or fight. Otherwise, it's just going to take a long time. Now you can just sort of get away with like, just always use the best Pokemon in any fight and just level up all the other ones just passively. Takes a lot of the thought and strategy out of the game, I feel like.
I think Black and White did a good job. I don't remember when XP share gets introduced. It's either Gen 3 or 4.
It's early in the game, but the version of it was very different. Whereas before, XP share was an item you put on one other Pokemon and only like, so 2 at a time you could train, kind of. But I think the XP share only gave like half the XP of like the one that was actually in battle. Now it's just, you have XP share, every single Pokemon gets XP no matter what. Yeah. Which is just a lot simpler.
Yeah, I liked it in Black and White where it's like, you can still level your guys up a little bit faster because you have the XP share, but it's still like intentional of like, all right, I'm fighting with this guy. I am sharing with this guy. I have to like move it around if I want to level up other people. Whereas I started playing ZA, and I will say I've actually been enjoying it quite a bit. It's very different in a lot of ways, but I played for like 6 hours and I'm like, oh, my entire team is level 20 and I have not, like, there's a couple Pokemon where I'm like, I've barely used them. And it feels wrong that they've like leveled up.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm like, they're on my team, but they're like weaker and I just don't like, I like them enough that I want them to stay. So it's weird. I will say I like the kind of more dynamic aspect of ZA. I can talk about it more once I've played a bit more, but like, it's a game where if you like Pokemon and you really want to play Pokemon, get it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But back to the news. They're re-releasing Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Got you. On the Switch.
Digitally on the Switch.
Yes.
No physical. But feasibly you own it under the assumption that Nintendo keeps its digital. I think I've been reading a lot of Reddit comments about this because essentially people are mad. There's a lot of differing opinions, and I'm going to get to them in a second. But I think someone made a comment where they're like, yeah, a lot of people talk about how like digital, like, do you really own it? But they were like, I looked back and I have like Wii U games that are digital and they still work and I can still use them and download them. Yeah. And the Wii U store is not supported whatsoever. So like, unless something changes.
I think it's more to the thought that like, 30 years from now, if something goes wrong, are we still going to have access to those games?
Sure.
Like, no, like you can't. A lot of people like the physical games to have like a collection, and then maybe in the future you can resell it for a higher price or just
I do too.
Something.
Yeah.
With a digital copy, if your Nintendo Switch 2 breaks 30 years down the line and they're not in production anymore and you can't find them, you just can't play that game anymore and you can't give it to someone else to play. Whereas with like old cartridges, old PS2 games, PS3 games, you can still find them in circulation. Theoretically, you can still like give them to someone that has a PlayStation if you can't find one yourself. But yeah, with digital, it's all just like gone.
Yeah. So again, there's a lot of discourse. So what they're doing is each one individually is $20 USD.
Got you. It's not bad.
What are your initial thoughts on this so far?
I think it's not terrible. I mean, like,
yeah,
the thing with Pokemon games and a lot of games of that level and genre, don't tell Nintendo, but you can emulate them. So you can always play them. Did you not hear that? I know you're just playing the bit. Sorry.
Hands up. You're under arrest.
Sorry. Yeah, but you can do that. So you can always play them on your phone or computer if you want to. If you want a more authentic experience on a console that I'm assuming they're like redesigning it for to some degree, because like obviously on the old Game Boy it was like a single screen. Now this screen's bigger. I don't know if they're gonna like change some aspects of it to like make it fit the Switch's screen better or something. I imagine that they could update some of the
be less square.
Yeah, but maybe they update some of the what am I thinking? Not graphics, but like not graphics, but the other thing in gameplay. Gameplay like running power, speed, frames.
Yeah.
What's the term I'm thinking of?
Gameplay.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I don't know what frame rate those games are at, or like just like lag in general, like
probably
that type
30.
of stuff. Yeah, maybe they just optimization.
Like
they optimize it. Yes, that's the word. Maybe they optimize it a little bit more. Knowing Nintendo, they might not. But like theoretically, they could do that to make it a bit more worthwhile to get. $20 for that doesn't seem terrible to me. If you really want to replay the game, have it on a handheld console that's like up to date and like along with your other games, you don't have to bring multiple things with you. It's not terrible. If it was like $40, I'd be like, that's a fucking ripoff. But 20, I think it's fine. I guess.
Yeah, I'm reading through this just to make sure I'm not wrong. So, to the knowledge of everyone so far, it releases soon, so it might be that something happens. It's essentially a port. Not even the way that like BDSP, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, was like essentially a port, but they did update it. They like changed the graphics, like they did do things to it.
Yep.
I think this is a literal ROM port. Like it's they took the code from a Windows 96 computer and threw it on the Switch. That is the knowledge of most people. There are possibilities it has connection with Pokemon Home, which I think gives it a little bit more validity. Pokemon Home is essentially a way that you can move Pokemon around within like your system.
Yep.
Or within multiple systems.
I mean, like, if they give it the ability to like bring in Pokemon from later games into it or something, that could be interesting, but I don't know if they will. The only thing I'll say about it is that I think a straight port would be less egregious, or would be more egregious if there wasn't games like Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, which were technically red and green remasters.
Yeah, it's technically more like a yellow remaster.
Yeah.
In that in yellow you get Pikachu, but also yellow is the same game essentially
yes.
as red and blue. So like
the only thing I don't get is that, like, to me, out of all the Pokemon remasters I've played, I think, like, objectively Heart Gold Soul Silver are probably the best. But in terms of, like, being more stylistically different, the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are some of the best remasters in the entire series. They're so well done. They have like the 3D system with like the actual like moving with the joystick around, not just like up, down, left, right. Really well done. Graphics are really nice. That's what I was hoping they were going to do for Diamond Pearl remakes, but they did this fucking chibi art style that was just not very good. If they really wanted to do a nice remake of the original games, they should go down that route rather than just like straight port, in my opinion. But I don't know. It just feels, with the amount of resources the Pokemon Company has, and with how little they release new actual games into series, you would think they'd have enough time to like put a bit more effort into it. I mean, yeah.
I agree. The general discourse is it's a wide spectrum, because there are people who are like, this is awesome. Hell yeah. There's always the people who are going, you can emulate it. Why buy it? Yep. To those people, then I just kind of look at them and go, this isn't for you, because if you were just going to emulate it anyways, you were never going to purchase it.
Yep.
There's obviously the people who are like, holy shit, $20 is great. You know, some people are throwing the argument of like trying to find the actual games, like physical games that were made like 20, 30 years ago. You can find them. They're expensive as fuck. Like, if I tried to go out and buy Fire Red, it's probably going to cost me like $100 for a cartridge.
Yeah. I mean, it's my impression of it is like, it's good, could be better, the situation. With like with a lot of things. It's like how I feel with, you know, Rockstar doing updates on GTA, or like Mojang doing updates with Minecraft. It's like they're doing sort of the bare minimum, but it could obviously be a lot better.
Yeah. Could be better, but at least they're doing something. I understand the emulator people. I just look at them and go, this isn't for you, don't buy it. Shut up. Kind of. Like, I get it. Yes, you can emulate it. We know.
For me, the big issue I have with the Pokemon Company is the fact that none of the 3DS games are on the Switch, because I never really got to play through X, Y, Sun and Moon because I never had a 3DS. Why can't they port those ones? Like, come on.
I agree.
They're the ones that like people have the least amount of access to, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are some people who also argue that Nintendo Online has a port to like NES to the Game Boy Advance games, and they're like, why don't you just throw this on here? I am fine that they didn't, because, you know, if you throw a Pokemon game on there and then they go, well, I can't, you know, own it forever. If I stop having Nintendo Online, I won't have this. So it's like, there's two sides of that argument. I agree with like the 3DS games. I genuinely, I've been pretty good about finding ways, either borrowing or purchasing the actual cartridges and stuff for older games and playing them legit. I think Gen 6 and 7, I will be emulating them. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done it.
Whoever's watching it, we're sorry.
I'm sorry.
I did as well.
If you're listening, nothing happened.
Yeah.
I'll probably emulate those games because there's no other way to play them.
Yeah, I never finished them, but I did emulate both of those games on my phone for a little bit, because like there's not, but the thing is, even, I mean, it's probably better now. When I did it like 5 years ago, the emulators for 3DS games on the phone was pretty shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just like
those are good PC emulators.
I never got a 3DS because like when I was young, I guess to my parents, the difference between a 3DS and the DS didn't seem like big enough for me to go ahead and get it. And like the DS was still good. Like I had no issues with it. And then by the time I was like sort of old enough to maybe want those games, it was like the Wii U was out, which I just didn't get anyways. But like I was already moving on to like PlayStation and PC gaming and stuff. There was just never a time where I was going to get a 3DS. So those two whole generations of games, just I never got to experience. I think this is just a big issue I have with like exclusives in general. It's just annoying, the fact that they never put the Pokemon games on PC, because they'd probably make like twice as much money if they did.
Probably make good money. but I'm sure Nintendo gives Game Freak a lot of money to stay with only Nintendo.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand why companies can't do a thing of like, okay, for the first year, you can only access these games on the Nintendo devices, but after a year, we'll put them on PC for people who want them. PlayStation have done that with like the Horizon Zero Dawn franchise and Last of Us and Spider-Man. It's a way to obviously still sell consoles for that exclusive for people who want to play it straight away and get like the experience of the day one, gameplay. But then much later on, you get some extra profit by porting it over. And you can keep it full price if you want to be scummy, which most companies are. It works.
Yeah. I don't think $20 is like a terrible price for the sake of like, it's a good game. You can get a lot out of it. I think there will be a lot of people who buy it. It's Pokemon. People are going to buy it. Pokemon's going to make money off of this. It's going to be incredibly cheap to have done. I don't think $20 is terrible. I think if you've never played the game and you're a more casual gamer who like maybe doesn't know how to set up an emulator or like doesn't have a PC and just has like a Switch, I actually do think it's a great option to be able to play an older game.
Yep.
I actually own Fire Red on Game Boy Advance, so I probably won't get it. I'd maybe consider it later so that like it's kind of nice to be able to sit back and play it on my TV. Like I think that'll be really cool.
The only thing I'd worry about it, and I'm sure we'll see how it is when it comes out, is that like you said it's a straight port. I don't think you could do an exact direct one-to-one port from that to the Switch and have it run and look nice. Because like if it's the same, like I don't know what the graphics were like on the Game Boy Advance, but let's say it's like 128-bit or 64-bit or something. The Fire Red Leaf Green might be more than that, 256 or something. If you're doing that onto the Switch and you're putting it onto a 4K TV, it's going to look like straight ass. So they need to do some like, AI upscaling or some shit, at least at the minimum, to make it seem more worth it than just getting it on a Game Boy or your phone. Whether they do that or not, I think is going to be the make or break of whether it seemed like a good thing or not. Yeah.
We're not exactly sure how much effort is being put into it, but it seems like it's pretty minimal amount of effort. I think I lean I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of like, I'm not mad at them for releasing this because the other thing is so many Pokemon fans are like, guys, just re-release your games. You'll make a ton of money. We'll all buy it. Like it'd be cool if they just re-released every single one of their games for $20 each.
Yeah.
I would kind of be okay with that because like, $20 is in this day and age of buying games for $70. $20 is not bad. Obviously, it'd be like you said with kind of GTA. It'd be nice if they did more than the bare minimum. Yep. But like if they released all the games like prior to the Switch on the Switch, is just a straight port, maybe some slight graphic optimization and like stuff to make it work with the Switch. That would be great.
Honestly, that would give me a reason to buy the Switch too. Like, if they did that, I'd probably be like, I'll buy the Switch too, because I would love to, like, replay through all those games, like, on an actual console that's made for it.
That'd be awesome. I think where people get annoyed, and this is where I understand, and this is actually where we'll tie GTA into this, is, again, we've had the spectrum of, like, people on the far end going, oh, just emulate it. You have people on the spectrum going, $20 is great in comparison to a modern game or trying to buy an actual retro game. And this is a good game. It'll be fun to play. Some people who have never played it and don't have access to anything else, I think it's a good way to do it. The middle ground is the people who are like, look, I'm not that mad that they're putting out games. I'm not even that mad that it's like they're not doing big updates. But like there are so many examples of retro game companies or companies that just have retro games, re-releasing retro games and doing so much more with so much less. Like I think there were like Mega Man releases and they do a bundle of like 4 games for like $10.
Yes. Yep.
And that's I think where people are mad, where they're like, you're gonna give me one of the games for $20 and do absolutely nothing else, but I can buy like a 5-pack of Capcom games for 10.
Yeah, I think Sonic has done a lot of bundles as well. Same with Crash Bandicoot. Same with, I feel like Legend of Zelda probably has a bundle there somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
We talked about it when it came out, and it's technically a smaller company. So it's not an indie company, but One of the best remakes / remasters that we've seen in ages was the Oblivion remaster. And the Bethesda team, for all of their problems over the past sort of decade with Starfield and the Fallout games, they did a fantastic job with the Oblivion remaster. They brought it into the modern day, as modern day as a Bethesda game can be, at least. There's still like the typical glitches.
So like
and stuff.
2013.
Exactly. But there's still like the typical glitches and weird stuff, but a lot of that was kept on purpose. A lot of like the weird janky stuff, like the conversations and the characters looking weird and doing weird shit was kept on purpose for the charm of the game. But the graphics were made a lot better. Overall, the optimization was definitely better than the original game. Like I've played a bit of the original game and I had to stop after like 2 hours because it was a bit of a nightmare without mods. And like they didn't, they released it for a pretty reasonable price as well. It wasn't like full price. It was like $40 or something. It was like discounted.
Yeah, I think so.
And like they put a lot of like love and heart into that. And I think there was an interview with Todd Howard saying like it was either like he hates remakes or hates remasters but likes remakes. He basically, what he says is he doesn't like the idea of just porting a game straight to a newer console. They like to remake it, which is maybe a little hypocritical because they've kind of done that with Skyrim a lot, but I think the actual official remakes, the official remasters of Skyrim, like Remastered Edition, Legendary Edition, are actually improvements. Not as significant as the Oblivion one, but also there's not as much time in between them, so the improvements couldn't be as big. But if you go back to the original Skyrim version, compared to Skyrim Legendary Edition, which came out like 5 years ago, there is a significant difference in like graphical quality and all that stuff.
They've changed things.
Even content, like it comes with the DLC, comes with like some of the Creation Club perks as well. So it is a difference. So I understand that. It would be a big, different talking point if like the new version of Skyrim was just like the new version of Skyrim, but it was the same thing, but just on PS5. Like if it was that, people would be like, this is stupid, which is kind of what Nintendo are doing with this technically.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that they are re-releasing old games. I genuinely, I think they should just do all of them or most of them. It is funny that they re-released what was something that was already a remake, but they re-released another Kanto region game, Kanto being that first region, because that means we now have red and blue, yellow, which I should count that all as one, to be fair, because it's all kind of the same.
I think yellow's kind of different. No, I'd say it is, because Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are considered, they're the same game, but they are, Platinum's like an upgrade on the other two, basically.
Yeah, the difference I will give is I've played yellow. It's not really much of an upgrade, because Platinum like adds shit to it.
Yeah, you just get Pikachu, and he follows you, right?
You just get Pikachu, and he follows you around, which is awesome and something they should have kept. Because it's in some games, but not. But
they have it in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Yeah, and they have it in, I think, Platinum. No. Okay, I think it's just Heart Gold Soul Silver and Yellow, and then maybe Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Some of the new ones has them as well, I think.
Yeah, in Gen 1 we had games with Kanto. In Gen 3 you have Fire Red and Leaf Green. In Gen 7, I think it might have been 7 is Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Yep.
And now we're re-releasing Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's like, look, I know Kanto's the start. I know it's the first game. Put out another game.
I'm just doing a quick search.
I'm not mad at Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's a good game.
So yeah, those are all the games in Kanto. Technically in Heart Gold Soul Silver, you can go back to Kanto as well.
Also in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you can go back to Kanto as a post-game thing. So like there's so much Kanto.
So basically in half of the games you can go to Kanto. And half of the generations you can go to Kanto, which again, there's no issue with. It is the original, it's iconic. But I do agree. Give some other games some love as well. Well, I mean, a lot of the games have got love, to be fair. Like Diamond and Pearl, as much as a remake isn't great, it is a remake. They also have Legends Arceus, which is technically in Sinnoh as well, even though it is very different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think the games, I think that there's one game out of the entire franchise, there's one game that stands out as the one that's, been out for a while. It's not one of the very new ones that has not had any sort of re-release, and it's X and Y. Because we have the original Kanto games and all the re-releases we were just talking about. We have Silver and Gold and the releases we talked about. We have Sapphire and Ruby and the releases and the remakes as well. Diamond and Pearl, we just mentioned. We have the Legends Arceus. Then we have Black and White and Black and White 2, which is technically different versions of the game. And also Legends ZA takes place in Black and White, I'm pretty sure.
No, this was where I was actually going to counter your
Oh,
argument.
is that where X and Y is?
It takes place in X, because it's XYZA. It takes place in
Got you.
It's not.
It's Paris, right?
No,
kind of.
Yeah, it's Kalos.
Kalos.
Yeah, Luminos City, which is what. So ZA takes place in one city. It's just a really
I will
big
say
city.
though, it even while ZA is technically an X and Y world thing, it's still the only game pre Sword and Shield that has not had like an actual remake or second version of like a mainline Pokemon game, because Legends are kind of like a spin-off where it's like different mechanics, different world. All the other ones, obviously Sword and Shield and Scarlet have not had remakes, but they're very recent, so it's understandable. New. But even like Sun and Moon has a second version, and Sun and Moon came after X and Y. So there's that.
Yeah, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are weird. I haven't played them, so I could be wrong about this. I almost think they were kind of like remakes in a way, where like Black and White and Black and White 2, Black and White 2 is just a sequel. It's just a direct sequel. It's the only time they've really done it. I want to say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
It's kind of like a director's cut of the game. It says there's an alternate storyline, new Pokemon, and improved mechanics. So I think it's kind of like
everything I've heard.
It's like Platinum to Diamond and Pearl, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like a third game, which I'd actually say in that sense, it kind of puts it as, like you said, X and Y only at X and Y, but like, the first 4 generations all did that thing where they had the 2 games that came out, and then they put a third out later that was like
Yellow,
pretty
Crystal,
similar, maybe
Emerald,
slight
Platinum.
story changes. Yeah. Black and White never got it, but they just got a direct sequel instead.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Then X and Y never got it, but
play.
then Sun and Moon got a sequel-ish kind of.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing that X and Y got was just Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which isn't a sequel at all. It's more just like you got the Mega Evolutions as the gimmick of X and Y,
which also,
and then they
just want to say, I think Mega Evolutions are the best like extra evolution stage, and they should have just stuck with that instead of doing like fucking Gigantamax, which is like kind of dumb. You have like the alternate forms one from like, there's so many of the different ones. I think if you're a Pokemon fan, let us know in the comments. I think Mega Evolutions are the best like extra evolution type stage thing they have, and they should have just stuck with it.
I agree, because it's Mega Evolutions in Gen 6. I want to say Gen 7 was like the Z type moves.
Yes.
There's Gigantamax, which is just big.
They're big. Just that big.
I don't know. For some of them, it's kind of cool, especially the bigger Pokemon, making them really like. Yeah. Gigantamax, Snorlax is kind of fun.
They're funny.
It's just so fucking.
I think
big.
you could have had Gigantamax alongside Megas. I don't know why you need to have one or the other. You can have Megas as this thing that a few Pokemon specifically can have, and then Gigantamax you could have done to all of them. Have it be a less specific thing.
Yeah. Well, they also have alphas now, which is like. It's just a bigger version, and I think it maybe just has better IVs.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just bigger, and that only really applies in the newer like 3D games, because if it was in an earlier game, it would just kind of look the same because it would just be out of frame.
Yeah.
If not.
I don't know. To me, just there's nothing cooler than like the Mega Lucario and Mega Rayquaza.
Oh, so sweet.
Like they're just sick.
Yeah. But with Fire Red and Leaf Green, I don't know, man. It's cool. It's like a step in the right direction.
Oh, yeah, the
but
X
it
and Y
also
forms.
has that like.
Isn't the X and Y forms a thing?
It's that some of the megas got it. Like there's Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y.
True.
I know there's Mewtwo, Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y.
Yep, and Aegislash can swap between forms, apparently. I don't know if that's a mega thing.
Yeah.
It just says...
I don't think
AI
that's a mega
weird.
thing. I think that's just...
Google
no,
AI.
that's not a mega thing to my knowledge. That's
it's just Google being shit.
Yeah. With Fire Red Leaf Green, it's a step in the right direction, but it also has that, like, I think for casual fans, it's awesome. Because if you're just not that into it, like, you don't play that much, but you're like, oh, I can drop $20 and I can play this game that, like, has a lot of content that is, like, well-known and good. It's awesome. But for some of the more hardcore fans, I think it's like, well, some of the games are so much better to play on emulators because you can speed them up and do all this random shit. But, like, even taking that out of it, it's that classic, like, Game Freak doing kind of the bare minimum and getting away with it.
Okay, yeah, you know what?
And I think that's
speaking on that, let's have a segment where we tell Game Freak how to do their jobs better. You know?
Let's do it.
There are, off the top of my head, there's two things I think Game Freak could do to make every single one of their games significantly better received. Better received by everyone, pretty much. So one thing that people have been asking for a long time and would fix the issue of, the veteran players saying this is too easy, is just have some sort of difficulty slider in general. I think just having like an easy mode, which is like the normal mode, and then a hardcore mode that specifically all it does is like, increase the level and health of all the Pokemon you go against. Increase like their damage, so you have to be more careful or level your Pokemon higher. Because like a lot of ROM hacks that people play will have like custom Pokemon that have higher levels. Maybe gym leaders will have an extra Pokemon than normal. Having that built into the game, especially for the newer games that can't be emulated, straight away, would give, one, more replayability, because once you finish the normal version, you can go back and play the harder version. Gives you, a reason to test your limits, basically. But will also just give the people who are more experienced with Pokemon the ability to have a more challenging time. And the people who are like kids, are still able to complete it, basically.
Yeah.
I think having some sort of difficulty setting would be good. I don't know.
I'm okay with it. The only argument, and I'm not necessarily even for it, I want to state it, is some people go, oh, well, you can just make it harder for yourself by just like picking worse Pokemon or just like making it harder. But also, I don't know, when I play, even if I'm like, oh, I want to really put a lot of effort into it, there's a Pokemon I like. I want to fucking use them. Yeah.
So this exact argument you use is an argument I cannot for the life of me stand. It pisses me off beyond belief. So I was talking on a second channel video, and even in a main channel video partially, about Grand Theft Auto and about the progression in the game and about the idea of like, you can unlock the fastest money maker in the game within about 6 hours of gameplay, roughly, if you really speedrun it. And then from that point on, for the rest of your account, you never have to do any of the other like easy money makers. You just spam Kaio over and over and over and over and over again. You never have to do contact missions. You never have to do the CEO, like vehicle cargo. All of that is pointless because you've already unlocked the best money maker in the game. And I got quite a few comments in the video. One really long one, like it was a goddamn essay saying like, this is your idea of proposing restrictions to get to this is stupid. If you want to have a slower time and you want to, play this other content, you should just do that. The issue is that like with the human brain, with the way we interact with stuff, if there is a faster and easier way to achieve something, you are going to take it almost every single time. Like if you want to get, the Batmobile in GTA, the Vigilante, it's like 1.8, 2.5 million something. You're gonna take the fastest route to get to that, no matter what. You just are. You can try and force yourself to do something more fun and slow for a while, but eventually you're gonna be like, there's just gonna be this itch in your head, like constantly nagging you, saying there's a better way to do this, there's a faster way to do this. So you'll just end up doing that. If in a Pokemon game there's no difficulty setting, but you want more difficulty, you're just gonna resort to taking the easy way out the majority of the time. Sure, there are some people and some certain situations where you can force yourself to play harder, but it's much easier if you just have a setting that restricts you from actually doing that. Like within GTA, if there was some sort of requirement or hurdle you had to get over first before being able to do Kaya Perico, that's not just buying the submarine. It's like, oh, you have to get your stealth to this level, you have to get your shooting to this level, you have to complete this heist, and this mission set before you unlock the ability to talk to Lester, who introduces you to this person, who introduces you to Pavel and buy the submarine. It would just, let the door open for a more challenging progression while actually feeling, you're spending your time worthingly, whatever. Because if there's no restriction there, that you're just going to go do the easy thing straight away, and it just makes it boring if you're too good, So I don't like that argument.
No, I agree in that I think there's a lot of flaws to it. And yes, there are ways you can make it harder. There's a lot of people that run Nuzlocke, which if you don't know anything about Nuzlocke, it's a way to make the game harder. If your Pokemon get knocked out, they're dead, they're gone forever. You only pick up one, the first guy you see on each route. There's a bunch of restrictions you can make. That's still pretty small. It's a pretty small majority of the player base. And I do agree. If you make it super easy to just have the easy option, you're gonna pick it most of the time. Yeah. I think there are ways where you can change, but it's if someone sucks, when I started playing Emerald, I kind of like Ninkata. I don't know why. I like his vibe. He sucks. And I tried and I was I'm gonna just level him up. I'm gonna get him to be good. Shedinja is a really interesting Pokemon. Yep. It has 1 HP, but he can only be hit by the things that are super effective against it, which is a couple of things. But it's cool because you basically just put him out against people who you don't think will have that ability, and you just take no damage, hopefully. But I was playing with Ninkata, and I'm he sucks. His stats are bad. He doesn't get any good moves. I know he's a really early Pokemon, and he's super low level when you get him, but I was just sitting here and I'm this sucks. So I got rid of him. Like you said, some people will be able to get around that and be no, I just got to push. And I pushed. I did a bunch of EV training. I did a bunch of random shit that I didn't need to do, but I kind of made the game a little more fun. But I like the idea of a difficulty setting because there's also the convenience to it. If you can make the difficulty changing a lot more convenient, it's so much easier to be all right, I'm committing to the harder difficulty. I hit hard difficulty. Then you don't think about it. You're not constantly making conscious decisions. In a Nuzlocke, you're constantly making the conscious decision to let go of your Pokemon if they die.
Yeah. Because I have tried a Nuzlocke before, and unless you're streaming it for a live audience, you have no one to hold yourself accountable except yourself. Yeah. So if you get into a fight and you have your favorite Pokemon and he gets killed because of some bullshit, there's nothing stopping you from just going, do over, I get him back, and then just continue. Yeah. And then you've just deleted the point of the challenge. Whereas, say for example, Pokemon had a built-in Nuzlocke mode as a harder difficulty. When your Pokemon dies, it's just gone. You can't save scum it. You can't, get out of it. It just is how it is. It's very similar to in Baldur's Gate 3, you have the regular difficulty settings, easy, medium, hard, or whatever they're called in the game. And then you have Honor Mode. Now, Honor Mode is the hardest difficulty with some more difficulty stuff added on top of it, enemies having special legendary abilities and attacks that are just more ridiculous. But the main change with Honor Mode that makes it very difficult is that you can't save scum. You can't save and go back to a previous point. Every single time you save, all your other saves before that get deleted. So if you die, it's just over. Or if you get yourself into a difficult situation, you can't get out of it. And it makes the game a lot more difficult, but also a lot more rewarding, because if you do manage to beat it, then you've actually put yourself through a difficult challenge. Whereas if you just put it in hard mode and you went back a save to get past a difficult enemy, or you press the wrong dialogue option so you go back, it's not the same. It could be the same with if Pokemon added a hardcore Nuzlocke mode, it automatically just has those settings in there. You don't have to think about it. You can't cheat yourself out of the challenge. It just is how it is. So that would be cool. That kind of leads into my second point of one, just a difficulty setting slider, however you want to have it in general, would be cool. And then two is having customized game modes. One of them could be Nuzlocke. That would be a pretty normal one to put in there. But I think the other one that whenever I've gone back to play Pokemon over the past 5 years, this is the thing I mostly do, and it's a randomizer. I think Pokemon randomizers are incredibly fun. I think they make the game so interesting. And you can have different settings for it. You can randomize just the Pokemon. You can randomize the Pokemon and their moves, and their types. You can do anything. So as you were speaking about before, the Pokemon Shedinja, who has this like unique ability of like, it can only be hit by things that it's 4 times weak against. If you have the randomizer setting as it's different types as well, you might have no fucking idea what you can hit it with, and it can just wipe your team. And it's crazy, but it's kind of the part of the fun of the challenge, you know? I think having that setting on all of the games would be so fun. And maybe you have it set up so only after you beat the game once you have access to these options. That's fine. It's like a new game plus, basically. I have no issue with that. It would just be so much more interesting. And it goes back to the point of like game companies doing more than just the bare minimum with their games, doing something more to give the community more fun. Nintendo, take notes.
Take notes, Nintendo. I guess, Dan, this brings me to my GTA question.
Sure.
Would you see, the thing is, and this is what we kind of touched on earlier, where it's like, aren't all the GTA games just available on Steam? Or am I wrong?
I think the first two, like the top-down ones, I don't think are. And they're kind of difficult to get a hold of. You have to like find them on the internet, and they're pretty glitchy from memory. I think apart from that, they all are, especially because all of the Gen 3 GTA games, like San Andreas, Vice City, I think Chinatown Wars, are all in like a bundle, a remastered bundle that wasn't received very well when it came out, but it's playable, I guess. And you can get those. I think you can get the originals as well. And then obviously 4 and 5 are both available on Steam as well.
Yeah. So like to some degree, this argument's not very strong, but like, would you want to see them just casually re-release the games and I guess do something with them? Because obviously, like you said, they're all there. I guess for the first 2 games, if they were to like put them out on Steam.
Yeah. Oh, if they
were just the original games, would you be mad?
If they were the original games but optimized, they actually fucking ran. Because like the original games are like known to be very glitchy. If they're optimized to be ran and the first 2 games are put on Steam for like $20, absolutely I'd buy them for sure.
Yeah.
More so because
honestly, it's
more so because I'd make videos on them, not because I actually care to play them that much.
Well,
but
sure.
Like having the option is always nice. I'm not going to complain about having the option to do that.
I will say, to some degree, Steam gets away with it because they do have a lot of older games that, like, I guess companies aren't necessarily re-releasing them. They're just, whenever Steam came out, they would just put things on there. And I think Steam is just seen differently than like Nintendo. Obviously, Nintendo put out like announcements and a whole bunch of, you know, stuff about Fire Red and Leaf Green being released. But like, there's a lot of games on Steam that are pre-Steam and did not get anything else.
Yeah.
You can get all the first two Elder Scrolls games. I'm trying to think, you either have to go to their website or you go to Steam and they're just free.
Yeah, that's chill as hell.
Now. Which is cool. But like then the other games cost an amount of money. Yeah, Arena and Daggerfall are just free, which I think is sweet. It kind of goes back to the same thing of like Nintendo, you could I don't know. I don't know if $20 is a bad price.
I mean,
people also compared it to the
what I would expect. Sorry, with like the re-release of the game of like old Nintendo games is like if you have the Nintendo like online subscription pass, like kind of like the Xbox Games Pass.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be reasonable to give those games for free if you're subscribed to that. And then if you end your subscription, then you don't have access anymore. I think that's a reasonable compromise rather than like flat paying $20 because the Xbox Game Pass,
both.
Yeah, you could do both. Maybe you get a discount. Maybe if you have the Game Pass, you can play the games for free. Or you can buy them for like instead of $20, you buy them for $5 and you have them forever.
Yeah,
that would be decent.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
I mean, speaking about GTA remasters, people have been asking for a GTA 4 remake for ages at this point. I don't know if we're really going to get one within the next 5 years. Maybe 5 years from now we might get it, a few years after GTA 6 releases. On the PS6 and whatever the next Xbox console will be. I think GTA 4, it's in that weird era where like it's modern enough that it's still very playable and not like at all. It's not like playing Morrowind, which is like quite old now. But it's not like modern. Like I feel like if you gave GTA 4 to like a modern day 10-year-old, they might struggle to click with it. It's a bit more janky. Graphics are quite outdated compared to modern stuff. But if they did a GTA 4 remaster, you know, similar to how the Oblivion remaster was done, you know, keeping it faithful but just updating the systems and graphics to a decent degree, put it out there for $40, I think no one would really be complaining about that. I think it'd be a good thing for them to do.
Yeah.
And they don't even need to include like the online mode, just the story with the DLCs as like a base package for $40. I think would be good.
No, I think it's all a good idea. That's the thing is like if you do something with it, I'm willing to pay like legit money because like $20 is in a weird range of like it's not bad. Like it's not that expensive, $20, but it's also like a $5 to $10 game is kind of a game that I can just look up on Steam and be like, yeah, I'll just grab that. Like I don't have to think about that, you know. $20 is just kind of high enough where you're like, well, I want to play it if I'm gonna get it. I don't need to like, you know, get 100 hours in it, but I want to at least play it where I'm like, if it came out for 5 to 10, I think it's also, it's kind of a long run of Nintendo being lazy. Like BDSP was seen as pretty lazy. Like all 3 of the original remakes in that Fire Red Leaf Green, Heart Gold Soul Silver, and Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire were all like, man, they took good games and made them like so much better.
Yeah, they
or at least added a
bunch
bunch to them. Like they add so much to it, and then it's like BDSP's weird because Platinum added a bunch to Diamond and Pearl, and then when they went to BDSP, they didn't take some of the aspects
like
from Platinum that were really good.
The whole like Platinum Garatina storyline is just not present, right?
Yeah, because they're specifically remaking Diamond and Pearl.
Why didn't they remake like?
But it's also like
Platinum? Or like even if they wanted to do like BDSP, put the Platinum storyline in there as like a side thing because like the whole like I can't remember what the dimension's called, but the whole like other dimension you go to where the world's like flipping upside down and sideways, it's so cool. The whole Giratina story, like I think it enhances because is it Team Cosmic in Diamond Pearl?
I actually don't remember.
It's a team. It's the one with it's the one with like the generals are like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The main guy wants to take over the universe and restart it, so he's using time and space. I think his whole story arc gets better with Garantina. I think it improves on the story of the games, and the fact they just like with a remake they just take that away for no reason seems a little weird.
Yeah, I still didn't figure out if it was Cosmic or not. Yeah, it's a weird choice to not, but I guess like Heart Gold Soul Silver wasn't a Crystal remake, but Crystal wasn't that like I feel like Platinum, like Diamond and Pearl to Platinum,
Team
is
Galactic.
so much of a bigger
Team
jump.
Team Galactic.
Galactic.
Yes.
Gotcha. Whereas like I feel like Gold and Silver to Crystal weren't necessarily that big. It kind of just going off of vague memory here because I played it a while ago. It really just changes the legendary from Ho-Oh and Lugia to Suicune. And my personal opinion, Ho-Oh and Lugia are just better than Suicune. Or at least they're more interesting.
I disagree.
That's just me. Suicune doesn't interest me. It's just kind of a dog, isn't it?
I love Suicune so much. Partially because
that's fine. I love Ho-Oh is my thing.
Ho-Oh is to me like the least interesting legendary. I could not give two apart from maybe the original birds, but no, Ho-Oh. I always preferred Lugia. I think the reason why I like Suicune so much is because the Pokemon movie that he's in is like my favorite or second favorite. It might be my favorite. It has Suicune and Celebi, and they're like two of my favorite legendaries because of that movie. So good. And also,
see, I think Celebi's cool.
It's that movie.
So you can just never did it for me.
Yeah, my two favorite Pokemon movies I can remember is that one and the one with Latios and Latias.
I will say, once you get to Latios and Latias, you're like, they're kind of just Lugia. And then it's like, Ho-Oh is like, it's kind of just Moltres or like any of the legendary birds.
Yeah.
Like, those 3 generations are like, a lot of these kind of.
Yeah, they basically have like Firebird, Lightning Bird, Ice Bird, then like Sun Life Bird, and like Water Soul Bird, I guess. And then you have like dogs, and then you have the creator of time and space in the next one. It's like, how did we get here, bro? The fuck?
Like, you kind of start ramping up because like Kyogre and
Groudon.
Oh god, I'm totally blank. Groudon are like the like, you know, the earth and the water are fighting against each other, and then Rayquaza is like, hey guys, stop it.
He's like air, and then we have time and space, and literally fucking
and then you have
God.
Time and space and God,
and like a being from the Shadow Realm, and then it kind of goes back down again to the black and white ones are weird. They're just kind of like dragons.
I don't remember. They're dragons. They definitely are something, but like I don't remember. I feel maybe at this point,
are they dark and light or something?
Once they get to them, yeah, I think it's like darkness and light. I don't know. You kind of get introduced to them really late in the game, and at that point, even though I've played multiple times, I just start hitting that A button because.
What do Zekrom and Reshiram represent? Truth and ideals. They're yin and yang, the philosophical conflict. Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, we have those.
Yeah, it's still less
X and Y, it's like life and death. What they represent.
Yeah.
And then you have Sun and Moon, which is Sun and Moon, and you have like the one being that's like an out of it's like an ultra beast. It's like an out of universe being that has like the power of 1 billion suns or some bullshit. And then you go to Sword and Shield. It's just like, oh, it's just a dog with a sword and a shield. Cool, dude. Yeah. And then you have Scarlet and Violet's the funniest one because it's literally just 2 Pokemon that are like motorbikes. I'm sure they represent something, but they literally are just like motorbikes. It's great.
They're just motorbikes. It's pretty funny.
And also, my biggest gripe with Scarlet and Violet, I only played it like 3 hours. You get the legendaries literally within like the first hour. Like,
that's crazy.
What are we doing here? Can we like
wait a bit? I do think some of the games you get the legendaries too late, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. There's something like Black and White. You literally get Zekrom fighting N. So you like, if you don't play the post game, you get your legendary for 2 fights. I'm not saying you should get it super early, but like, I don't know, maybe like Gym 7.
Yeah, I think Gym 6, 7 around there is a good time to get legendaries usually.
Yeah. At least for me, because like I really liked him, but I always forgot how long it takes. And I think Black and White has a good post game, so it works out. And I do think the post game has value, but I think for the sake of the game, especially the sake of the story, like the legendaries felt so big. And then replaying them, I'm like, why am I? Oh, I get them at the very end. Like, I feel like I should have some time to like grow with my Pokemon, not like, oh, at the very end, oh, I gotta catch it, and then I'm gonna fight with it.
The issue with that as well, and I ran into this with Black and White when I was younger, is that like you build up this team that you like, you kind of have your like 6 guys that you trust, and then you get to like the final gym, and it's like, either I replace one of these guys I've been with and like want to keep, or I don't use the legendary of the game. And it's like, what choice do I make here? Often, the issue with legendaries as well is often they don't really fit into like a good team meta a lot of the time. Like it's kind of like an awkward spot they have to fill.
They don't like replace anyone because they're not typically the same typing, especially when you get to the point where like a lot of legendaries are dragon type, and you're like, well, I didn't have a dragon type in my team, and not like dragon type is just a good standard type because it like doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses, and dragon typing is gonna like neutrally affect everyone, so it's just good. You can stab on it, like you get some damage, but also usually you're like, all right, I have these 6 guys and they all cover these 6 things really well, and then you get this other guy, you're like, well,
What do I do
He's
now?
really powerful. He's really important to the main story. But I don't know where to put him. I don't know.
It'd always be cool if like you could have a seventh slot for the legendary just to like be on your party.
Just be there.
That's one thing I really liked about Diamond Pearl though specifically. I know it happens in Heart Gold Soul Silver as well. I don't know how much the modern games do it. I know the modern games bring back a lot of old legendaries sometimes, but specifically Diamond Pearl Platinum, there was like a lot of like mini side legendaries you could get. Like there was the 3 like spirits. It was like Mess Spirit, Uziel, Uxie, and Azelf.
Uxie
and Azelf.
Yeah.
Then you had Shaman, you had Darkrai. There's like just a lot of cool like side legendaries you can get that like helped fill up the game with like other little quests and things you can do.
You might have like a Reggie or 2 in there.
Yeah, you have the Reggies in there. I think I don't know if this is Heart Gold Soul Silver or Diamond Pearl, but I think you had Deoxys as well in one of them, which was like the alien space dude.
I don't know. There's also a lot of like event stuff that you just can't do anymore unless you like ROM hack.
Yeah, I remember I got Arceus from Target.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was too late to getting Celebi in black and white, but I still have the case that when you open up and it's like, as long as you get it between March 3rd, 2011 and April 20th, 2011, you can get it. And I just sit here and go, damn, I wish I did.
Brutal.
Oh, well. What are you gonna
That's what
do?
it is.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I think that's a good stopping point. Game Freak's gonna do what Game Freak's gonna do.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what it's like when it comes out. If they do come out and announce, hey, we are re-releasing all the old games on the Switch, ported over and optimized, they're going to be around $20 each, maybe like 60 for a bundle of all of them. Well, I might honestly think about buying a Switch because like I'd be down to have that.
Yeah, I will also say Pokemon Day is yet to come out. It could be that they're throwing this out to see what the reactions are and then actually releasing more stuff. I don't know. I shouldn't get my hopes up, but I will a little bit.
You would think for a 30th year anniversary there'd be like something.
They do more than just one re-release of an old game with absolutely nothing to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've talked about it before. Nintendo fanboys have like the least backbone of any gamer group in the world. They will take whatever shit is fed to them and just be happy with it. They need to learn to fight back a bit more.
Yeah, but also Pokemon.
Oh yes.
Sorry.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, folks, if you enjoyed that, good. If you didn't enjoy it, yeah, you did. That's all I have to say. Comments.
You gonna continue that thought?
That's it.
Just comments, okay?
No, just leave comments if you want. Ask us questions if there's something you guys want to talk about. If you have opinions on Pokemon or other things we've talked about, tell us. We'll probably respond. We might respond.
Yeah, let's end this before you keep rambling. All right, see you next time, guys.
Okay, it's bad.
Peace.
All right, bye.